Hi Greedy 3Ds, today we're going to be testing the Gocheer airbrush and compressor set. Everything you get here is included. Let's unbox it, let's play with it, let's see it working, and I'll tell you what I think. Stay tuned. Now, to be totally transparent to you guys from the start, this has been sent to me for review purposes. You can purchase it, and I'll put a link in the description from Amazon. It's £49.99 on Prime delivery. So let's have a look what you get in this box. It looks like it's actually been put together or assembled or made in the UK. There's definitely a UK returns address on it. I would suggest it's not been made here, but there's definitely a UK returns address on there. You get some instructions in there. In fact, you get two lots. You get them in the pamphlet there, and you also get them in the airbrush box too. And here you get a airbrush. Oh, this is nice. It's a stainless steel airbrush, and it's got a 0.3mm nozzle inside it already. It's a dual action. All the screwy bits unscrew well and the bits pop off well, so it's been engineered to a decent enough standard, I would suggest there. And it's even got the name on it of Gocheer, but it feels okay. It feels sturdy in hand and the operation feels smooth. Now you also get a 0.5 and a 0.2 nozzle in there. And to go with those, you get a 0.5 and a 0.2 set of needles too. So that's not bad. You're getting 3 needles and 3 nozzles, all different sizes, included with this airbrush kit. Now, I don't think this is a bad value so far for the airbrush. Bear in mind, the whole thing is £49.99. You get one of those little screwy, spannery things to undo your nozzle. And as I said, if we just look under the airbrush, you can see there's a set of instructions there, and it contains a complete how to disassemble the airbrush right the way down to basic components. And I've taken it apart and put it back together again, and everything went together again wonderfully. All the tolerances in the screw threads, etc. were there. You also get a few other gubbins in the bag of goodies. You get a nice little holder that attaches to the compressor. You get a wonderful set of cleaning tools. You get the little chimney sweepy ones there, and you get some of the pokey ones that go through your nozzle also there. Should you get anything that's really difficult to get out of your nozzle, you also get one of these quite firm, pointy, needly ones. And again, you get all this included. I think this is wonderful, wonderful value for money. You get a moisture trap as well, which connects to the bottom of the airbrush. Again, a great additional thing to have to get rid of any moisture in your line. And speaking of the lines, there you go with a line. It's about 1.2 meters long, which is plenty long enough for your needs. And you also get the compressor. Now, this is a tiny little compressor. It's supposed to put out 35 psi. It's got a little adjustable knob on the side there, so you can turn the pressure right down if you want to. So yes, it is adjustable. And hurrah, it comes with a UK power lead, which you know I am always happy to see. So this is what you're getting for your £49.99. You're getting pretty much everything you're going to need to start airbrushing. If you're a beginner in airbrushing, especially with your models, you're going to be able to walk straight into it. So let's connect it all together and just have a little look at it and a listen to it running. Now, that's not too loud really. Now, it is an always on compressor, so it's not going to turn itself off unless you turn it off. It's not an on-demand compressor that some others are. So this will run continually if you have it turned on, and it will only turn off if you turn it off. On the side, you've got the adjustable knob there to turn the pressure down, and you've got the connection for your hose to connect it to your airbrush, and that's pretty much it. The hole that you can see in it is there for the airbrush holder that just plugs straight in and connects. Now, once I've connected the airbrush to it, which was a relatively easy affair, as I say, it's dual action, push down for air, pull back for paint. And it feels like there's air flowing onto my hand. It feels like the pressure's good. If you turn that knob right down, it reduces it to virtually nothing, and you can adjust that knob and play with it. Some people like to reduce pressures to spray paint on in, to do little freckles on skin, etc. Well, you can do that with this airbrush. So I put some water in it, and I'm just going to show you it running, and I just want to show you the consistent mist of paint or water spray that you can see coming out of it. The compressor does not lose power. It puts a consistent amount of paint out, or in this case water, and I held it there for quite a while and I had no drop in pressure at all, which I think is a great thing to see when you've got an airbrush, an air compressor set of this price. Now I'm going to use a little bit of barbarian flesh on a model. It's Lucy from Fallout. I'm just going to put a couple of skin layers on it just to show you it in operation really. And I've just filled up a little bit into the pot and I've squirted it on. Now it's coming out easy, it's coming out consistently. I've got some control using the pull down handle to make it work. I'm quite happy with what it is really. I've used quite a few airbrushes over the time and this one seems to be doing an admirable job. It's not doing anything any different to what I would expect. The paint's coming out, it's stopping when I stop it, it's starting when I want it to, and I can change the intensity of the paint by controlling the little trigger on there. Everything good so far, doing what it's supposed to do and what it says on the tin. 50 quid for all this? Not bad. And there we go, you can see we've got a nice consistent pink on there. No globules, no overspray, nothing that's not supposed to be there. Now taking some oak brown against an army painter paint, I'm just going to do the hair really. I just wanted to change colour and just have a little look to see how good it is with a different kind of paint, different kind of consistency, and I'm just giving it a layer across the hair. If you hold it down very, very slightly, you can control the amount of paint that's coming out. I did try to not get any overspray onto my pink, but I'm not that good with airbrushes, and I've got to get used to the actual control of this one. But it is quite good to control where you want it to go. There was a little bit of overspray, but can't really blame the airbrush for that. That's more my clumsy big fat fingers, to be honest. And the brown went on wonderfully. I'm happy with, again, the consistency of the flow. It worked beautifully. The paint came out exactly as I wanted it to and stopped when I wanted it to. I don't think I'm doing too bad here. I think the this cheap airbrush kit, when you think you're getting everything for 50 quid, is doing an airbrush job. It's grand. Cleaning it, all I did was I cleaned a bit of the paint out with a bit of tissue and used some water to just squirt it into one of these squirty bottles, squirted it right down into the bowels of the airbrush, and then I poured out the majority of the water and just ran the rest through the nozzle till I was happy that everything was coming out relatively clear. It only took me a few seconds to do it, and just to finish off, popped an airbrush cleaner in there, give it a waggle and blew it out to clean everything. I didn't take it apart, I didn't need to. It seemed to clean itself as normal. I've cleaned airbrushes over many years, and this one was absolutely no different at all. Just taking a little bit of blue now, and on the back of a cardboard box, I just wanted to see what sort of control I could get with it really, just by alternating the pressure. And you know what, I can get a fairly consistent line of paint on there. I'm okay with that. If I apply a little bit more pressure, it puts a thicker, wider layer on, and depending on how close you are as well will depend on what you're getting on there. Do you know what, again, it's doing what I would expect it to do. It's doing what an airbrush does, and it's doing it really well for the price. Here's Lucy just after she's dried. As you can see, the paint is consistent on there. Yes, I've done some overspray with the brown, but that's me, not the brush. But the colours that have gone on are clear and consistent and have covered everything I needed them to. When I review something, I try to look at it from my perspective as a hobbyist, and I look at certain categories. The things that I will look at are, where can I get it from? Well, you can get it from Amazon. I can get it on Prime, next day delivery, and let's face it, none of us want to wait for things, so that's perfect. Cost wise, you're looking at just under £50 at the moment, £49.99, which again is not an horrendous price when you think of what you're getting. And when we get to value for money, what you are getting for that money is you're getting a compressor, you're getting an airbrush, you're getting everything to connect the two together with a power supply, you're getting lots of cleaning materials as well, which is another added bonus that you sometimes have to buy separately with other airbrushes. You're also getting 3 nozzles. You're getting the 0.3 in there, and you're getting the 3mm inside, you're getting the 5, and you're getting the 2 as well with it, with the corresponding nozzles. You're getting it in a nice little box, and it works. You're getting a moisture trap built onto the airbrush. You're in essence getting everything that you need to start the hobby. Now, is this going to be the best airbrush compressor in the world? Oh, come on. You get what you pay for a lot of times, but what I try to look at is, does it do the job? And if you are a bog standard beginner that has to count your pennies, 50 quid is a lot of money, but for 50 quid you get everything. Now, I've used it a couple of times on and off camera. On camera, I just painted this little Lucy head from Fallout, and it did an absolutely wonderful job. I can't really complain with the way that it put the paint on. It was easy to clean. It's put 2 colours on here for me. I was able to control the nozzle to a point whereby I didn't get brown paint all over my pink. I was okay with that, and I've used lots of airbrushes over the last few years in this hobby, and this one for me, I've got to be honest, is no worse than any of the others that I've used. And I've used some really expensive airbrushes. I think nowadays even the cheaper made airbrushes seem to be holding their own. Yes, if you can afford 10 times more than this, then you can probably buy a better compressor and a better airbrush that may last you longer. Now, I don't know how long this will last. I've got no longevity test on it. I will come back to a longevity test on it. We'll see how we fare in 6 months' time. But at the moment, for 50 quid for everything you're getting, I can't really not recommend you get this. The good thing with Amazon as well is you've got returns policies. If you buy it and you don't like it, you can return it. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but I just think it's really important to tell you what I think after using it. I thought that the compressor held its puff. I thought it sprayed really, really well. I think it's 35 psi. That's what it's recommended to give, but you saw it working. I never had any drop in pressure. It gave that consistent supply of paint right the way through. So yeah, I can't really fault it. I really and truly can't. It did everything it said it was supposed to do. Now, if you found that useful, please subscribe to the channel. That would really help. You can support the channel that way. We have got a Patreon if you want to join it. That won't cost you anything if you want to join it, as for free. But if you want to pay a couple of quid a month just to support the channel a little further, you can. If you want to buy one of these, I'll put an affiliate link in the description where a little bit will kick back to the channel. No, I'm not doing that because I get a bit back. I'm going to put the affiliate link in there because I actually think this is a decent airbrush and compressor set. So that's why I'm doing that. I'd be interested to know what you think of this Gocheer airbrush set. Have you used it? Have you had a good result? Have you had a bad result? There's lots of decent reviews on Amazon, but come on, we can't always rely on those. I would rather try it, play with it, use it, and see somebody doing the same. Hope you found that useful and interesting, and I'll see you next time on Greedy 3D.